Here at Medway Council Norse Depot in Pier Road Gillingham, Medway Trades Union Council turn out in the rain in solidarity with Unite members who are classed as essential workers, yet their employer Norse and secondary employer Medway Council feel they do not need the following government guidelines on social distancing at work. Every morning these workers turn up, keep the streets clean and take the refuse that we all produce away, so that we can keep our environment clean and disease-free. Every morning, both of their employers make them put their lives at risk by not providing face masks or suitable personal protective equipment, even though they say there is no practical way to ensure social distancing. When the trade union Unite have the nerve to point out their members' concerns and demand they live up to their responsibility as the employer Norse unilaterally de-recognises the union in an attempt to make the problem go away. This is of course illegal, but that doesn't seem to bother them, even though the vast majority of the workforce are Unite members. Members of the local Medway Trades Union Council arrived in time for the lorries to depart on the morning run, in a flash demo observing of course correct social distancing guidance, unlike Norse and Medway Council. The demonstrators holding their placards high so the workers can see they are not alone and that they must win through with their demands. Norse had already agreed to their demands following a walkout weeks before, but then reneged on the agreement after the workers went back to work. The council tried to offset their clear responsibility as secondary employer by saying they have no influence over the way Norse carry on their business, despite there being two members of the council on the partnership board whose responsibility it is to do just that and have a say on how the business is run for and on behalf of the Conservative-run Medway Council.
It's Workers' Memorial Day and we're here from Medway Trades Union Council to protest against Medway Norse who run the refuse service. Medway Norse are a partnership between Norse, which is a facilities management services company, and Medway Council. There has been a dispute here because Medway Norse have refused to provide proper social distancing and indeed any proper PPE. This is absolutely outrageous in the midst of a pandemic. As you can see, as the guys come out, they've not even been given masks. The companies say that it's not possible to socially distance, but it's quite clear that that is not the case. Unite the Union have been de-recognised for demanding proper PPE and social distancing. Unite have made many agreements with other local authorities to implement the kind of measures that make it possible for refuse workers to work safely. What we're looking at is bluntly callous complacency. It looks like they're taking the risk that nobody's going to die as a consequence of their refusal to do anything to minimise the risk to refuse workers. We all rely on frontline workers, and refuse workers are very much frontline workers. They're at risk, and it's outrageous that they're not being given proper PPE, proper social distancing. Medway Council like to pretend that really they're just Norse is simply a contractor and it's nothing to do with them. But actually Medway Council are in a partnership with Medway Norse, and 2 of the councillors sit on the board, so they are absolutely complicit in anything that Norse does, and they have refused point blank to do anything. Medway Council quite clearly are as responsible as Norse is for the safety of their workers. They have simply refused to even consider that it is possible to do something. It's what is being suggested is not impossible to implement, but they simply refuse to do anything. Well, we've already seen enormous tragedies that have taken place where people are in the NHS and elsewhere have fallen victim to the pandemic, and they are working on our behalf, and it's absolutely important that they have the absolute support of the rest of us who are not placed in that kind of situation, thankfully.